One of the most interesting issues that comes up in social media, particularly on Facebook, is whether to unfriend or block if you find yourself in that situation. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and maybe some of the factors that play into it next. As many of you know, especially if you've been on Facebook for a long time, you know that it at times can be a little bit volatile, or at times it can be a hell of a lot volatile, in that people have relationships that come and go. And especially when you get into political seasons and people's opinions start to become stronger and they start to voice them more frequently, you can see relationships begin and end, and sometimes they can begin and end rather rapidly. And so it's really interesting to see when these kinds of things happen, because you have to figure out what you're going to do. And you do have options on Facebook if you're dealing with somebody in your Facebook friendship circle that you just are getting kind of tired of, or you're just offended by, and you just don't really want to deal with them, or you don't really want to see them. And so there are a couple options that really jump out right away. One is that you can block the person from your feed and just say, you know what, I just don't want to see this person really anymore. I don't want to see the garbage that they're putting out. They're annoying me with things that they're doing, either maybe too frequently, or things that they're just doing that are opinions that I don't agree with, or ways that they conduct themselves that I just find offensive. And so you can choose to block them. And so you're not unfriending them and something that's going to maybe catch their attention at some point. You can just say, you know, I'm just going to block them, and I just don't really have to see their stuff. And yet we can still sort of remain friends technically, even though in reality we're really not, because I've blocked your stuff from my feed because I just don't really want to deal with you. I don't really want to see you, and I don't want to see your stuff. And then the other option, of course, another option is that you can just choose to unfriend people. And this is a little bit of a tougher decision for some people. In some cases, it's just like no brainer. Like, I'm just tired of this person, whatever. Just be gone. Just get the hell out of here. But it's something you really probably want to think about a little bit, because there is a degree of permanency. You can always refriend somehow, but you know, that's just another kind of major bridge that you have to cross, and you probably already crossed that bridge once or twice when you initially became friends, and then when you unfriended, and now you're going to refriend. I can think of a couple times that I've been in that situation with somebody that we unfriended. I can't remember. I think one time I might have unfriended the person. I think the other person might have unfriended me another time. And then you have to cross that bridge. And so you have to like decide, okay, what went wrong that we went in different directions? And sometimes it's obvious what went wrong, what changed and sent us into different directions. And then sometimes it's not so obvious, and it requires maybe a discussion to kind of talk about what drove us apart, and then what have we learned from what drove us apart that can bring us back together. And so those are discussions that take place probably quite frequently on Facebook and maybe some other social media platforms as well. And those are discussions that you're going to have as you make that decision, if you make that decision to decide to unfriend somebody versus to block them from their feed, which they're probably never going to know. But if you unfriend them and then they say, well, you know, I haven't heard from Sandy in a long time. I wonder what's going on. You know, I better go check on him. So sort of like a social media, Facebook welfare check type thing that goes on. And then you go and you find them, and it basically offers you the option of friending him. That is, of course, unless they've unfriended you and then blocked you in a different kind of way. As opposed to just blocking your stuff from their feed, they've just chosen to just completely block your profile from engaging with them on any level. And so those are things that you have to figure out what you're going to do. Make sure that whatever decision you make, you think it through and decide, is this a person that you just want to get out of the way totally? Or if it's a person that you just want to take some distance from and just kind of step back and say, well, you know, I guess we can remain friends. I just don't want to see a lot of your stuff. So you make that decision, and whatever decision you make, just think it through and then live with the ramifications of whatever that decision is. So thank you for tuning in for this video. If you could, hit the like button on the video, hit the subscribe button, and join me again for more content on this YouTube channel.